All right. Lindsay
Perfect.
Joseph in the house, you guys. She's Sapphire ambassador, mom of 3. She is here in Texas right now. And I'm like loving that because we're in the same time zone for once. I'm going to let her share her story and some background. And then basically just how she went from the mom that never left the couch to the mom with a thriving, successful 6-figure business. It's wild, you guys. So buckle up. Let's go for a ride with Lindsay. Take it away, sister.
All right. Hello. Thank you, Emily, for having me. I'm so excited. For one, can I just say I love this business and what we do? I was literally like in Target. I'm like, we have 15 minutes to get home, guys, after gymnastics. So I made it. Hi, I'm Lindsay. I have been with Plexus for over 5 years now. And that is me. If you look on the screen, like that little before and current picture, that is me before I started Plexus. And I, believe it or not, I didn't even start for weight loss. I was desperate to be a good mom and wife again. I had no idea who I was anymore. I was so sick. As Emily said, I couldn't get off the couch. And my sweet friend Brooke was sharing about Plexus. And it intrigued me because I was feeling all of the feelings, very sad and tired, and just like I said, not myself. And my husband's like, yeah, that's an MLM. Those are scams. So I don't think that that's the route that you should go. And I kind of continued to struggle, continued to watch Brooke. And I would send him things like, hey, this sounds like me. And trust me, his life was miserable at the time because happy wife, happy life. And there was no happy wife. So his life was a little not so great. And so finally, it was to the point where I was going to have to go to the doctors and get on medication and figure out. And he's like, what the heck? You might as well give Plexus a shot. It worked for my identical twin sister. She was actually covered 95% head to toe in psoriasis. And so he's like, if it worked for her, maybe it can work for you. So I started simply for the products, and I had no intentions on sharing. I didn't want to be that person, the stay-at-home mom just desperate for money. So they'll share literally anything for a buck. And I did not want to be that person. And so immediately I told Brooke, I just want to take the products and that's it. Well, about 3 weeks in, my husband's like, don't stop taking what you're taking. I was getting off the couch. I was happier. And I was starting to feel like myself. And I was like, I had like a come to Jesus moment where he's like, you aren't alone in your postpartum journey, and there's so many other people out there who need help too. And I put these resources in your lap, and now you're going to share about them. And I'm like, no, thank you. I never wanted to be in network marketing. I'm not gonna lie, that was something that I said no to. And I was in and out of college all the time, trying to figure out what my passion was. And God kept on nudging me. Still at this point, I was in and out of college. He kept on nudging me like, you have what other people need. And so I gently started sharing about it about 4 weeks in, I would say. Just I wanted to get my products covered because I was a stay-at-home mom and I didn't make a single penny for myself. So I just wanted to get my products covered. So I shared, and it turns out so many people need gut health. Actually, if you are a living person and you eat and you have stress in your life, you need gut health. So it turns out everyone needed it. I started helping mamas on their postpartum journey, and that's kind of something that I've still been passionate about because I had felt so alone. I would only post the highlight reels of my life, and now I truly stand strong in being your real authentic self because it was so debilitating feeling alone, and I promised I would never make another mama feel alone in this life. So I started sharing and I dipped my toes in, and I liked it. Felt like I finally had found something where I was serving God's calling and people. And I love people so much. I'm like a yellow personality. I will literally give you the shirt off my back. I just love people. So I finally found something that I felt like I was passionate about. And it kind of just grew from there. And it wasn't always easy. I had a lot of fear and self-doubt throughout that journey. Because of the fear of what other people thought. And so I would share. I remember my first year, I earned a cruise for the first time. And traveling was not something that we were able to do with our family because my husband worked to provide food on the table and bills and made sure that we didn't go without. But vacationing was luxurious, and I did not have the extra funds to do that. So I earned my first cruise, and funny story, he couldn't go because of work. So I actually went by myself. Actually, I got to take my identical twin sister, whose life was changed before mine with Plexus. But I went on the first cruise and I'm like, what is this company? Like, this is insane. And so after that, I continued sharing, just really keeping people at the forefront of my mind. And then all of a sudden I had replaced the income that I was in school to become a teacher. And all of a sudden I was Ruby and I replaced that income. And my husband's like, why are you going to school? Like, you love what you do. You get to stay at home with our children, which has always been a passion of mine, but you're still like doing something solely for you. And I'm like, okay, true. Like, I don't want to be a teacher. I was just trying to fill that gap in my life. And so I stopped going to college for the fourth time, and I decided to go all in with Plexus. I saw a path. It wasn't until that moment that I actually saw the potential that could change our family's life with Plexus. And my husband's in the military. I don't know if I said that already, but he was moving around a lot, and our kids were having to go without seeing their daddy. And that was incredibly hard for all of us. He's a very hands-on dad. And so I just remember like telling him, like, I don't want them to have to go without you if we can make that possible. And so I continued on. I helped. I will preach. I don't sell anything. I share stories. Like, I never wanted to be the person to sell anyone anything. And so I created a team of just that, where there was other mamas who wanted to change people's lives. I have a lot of nurses on my team. I just continued sharing from my heart and drew in the exact people that God needed in my business. And the relationships that I've created, honestly, I can't even pinpoint like the biggest blessing of this business, because the relationships, the income, the products, everything has seriously changed my family's life more than I could even sit here and tell you guys. And so I went Emerald and earned my Plexus Lexus. I never got that. I got the lifestyle bonus instead, which I thought was really cool. I'm not really a car person. And so I knew that that could help my family. But at that point, I realized, like, if I could go Emerald, if I could be a jewel, I could help other people do this too. And I could actually become a diamond in the company. And self-belief isn't something that I really had for myself. So I kept on going. It was obviously ups and downs, and that fear would step in, or like, what do people think about you? Or you're posting on social media, like you're not, like you're an influencer, like all of that kind of stuff. And I just had to do some leadership development. I'm not a natural born leader. I did some leadership development and some self-loving books and trainings and prayers and affirmations over and over. And then I hit a rank of Sapphire that I didn't even know I was capable of doing. And truthfully, I knew my husband wanted to accept a position where he was not going to be guaranteed a full-time job, but it was an officer in the Air Force, and it was doing something that he had went to school for, something that he had always dreamed of, but it wasn't risking his life as the FBI or anything like that, which is just unfortunately my husband's dreams. So it's something in the Air Force, and it was an officer position. And at that point, he said, I can actually apply for this because of the income that you provide our family, while also staying home and raising our babies and cleaning and cooking and running all of the errands and everything. You can make this income more than what he was even making at that point by simply sharing what changed your life and your families. And so he got to apply for his dream job. And by the grace of God, he was selected. And we were then presented with, you have to go to training for 6 months in Texas. And I refused to go without my kids seeing their dad. And so financially, we still have our house because we have to go back to Michigan. We still have our house there, and we have an apartment that's more expensive than our mortgage because it's expensive here. And we're financially able to keep our family together. And not only that, but we have done so much traveling being here in Texas, just really making the best memories with our kids. I'm homeschooling. We were able to financially buy all of the homeschool supplies. And if you know, I have 3 kids in 3 different grades. It's so expensive. And we truthfully, we're on like a 6-month vacation here. That's how we're living. And it feels so good. And I feel honestly undeserving that we get to have this life because I shared about products that were life changing and that every single person on this planet needs. And so that's kind of our family's story. We still get to be together because of Plexus, and I owe literally everything to God for putting this in my lap. And whenever I let the little self-doubt or fear of what other people think creep in, I seriously just like look around at my life and I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I will keep on doing your work and giving other people the opportunity to have exactly this life, because I think we can take it for granted sometimes, but I am so incredibly thankful and blessed. So there's my very short and but very long business testimony.
Lindsay, oh my gosh, you guys, did anybody else have chills? Like, come on, come on. I'm here in my house and it's like echoing because I'm just over here like, yes, girl. I love you so much. And I thank you so much for sharing, because it's hard to kind of reflect on like that day one. But here's the thing, you guys, every single one of you is going to have a day one. And here's the other thing. Some of you are going to have multiple day ones. Hello, me, anybody? I've had to start and restart and learn and unlearn. And I love that Lindsay talked about like, listen, I'm not a natural born leader. I'm not the girl that you come to lead the pack, but I aspired to be. I wanted to help more people. I wanted to be a better mom. So she realized she had to open up a book or listen to a podcast or link arms with someone to hold her accountable. And she turned it into a business. She turned it into a career path that she thought she was pursuing education. But now, I mean, honestly, you're kind of doing that. You're teaching women and moms and people to dive into gut health, like for just one dang minute. Maybe we don't talk about weight loss. We talk about gut health. And I love that that's the mission for Plexus as a whole. It is. It's teaching in a different way. Absolutely. So Lindsay, thank you for sharing that. You guys, let's keep going. I'm so stoked about this. This is the Show Me the Money Zoom. So Lindsay got started because when you sign up for Plexus, you are paying $10 to start a business. $10. I've shared this stat many times. To start a business, a brick and mortar business, a franchise, to be an entrepreneur and start your own business, you're looking at minimum $20,000. If you go on a brick and mortar or franchise, 300,000 plus. A very popular business that a lot of people are loving in cities is called Dry Bar, or like a blow dry salon where they don't cut hair, they just wash and style. 1.3 million to start that business. I don't have that lying around. Like maybe if I sold everything and all my stocks and all my investments, like maybe I could start that business. But who has $10? And here's the thing. Some of you don't have $10 right now. Let's be real. Let's be real for a second. Some of us are going to have to borrow that because we're all in and we're sold out and we have hope and we know that we're meant for more. Like Lindsay shared, she's like, I was meant for more. I know I wasn't supposed to be laying on the couch and just like not feeling my best and avoiding motherhood, right? And so some of you might have to borrow that money, but we're going to get into that in just a second. Before we begin, I just want to make sure it is clear that Plexus Worldwide Incorporated makes no income claims or guarantees. Here's the thing. On average, the average ambassador with a great work ethic, consistency, a desire to try and learn, on average, they're bringing in an extra 500 plus bucks a year. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Lindsay's story is unique and she worked really hard and really intentionally, but it's also her reality. And I just love that. And I'm sorry, but extra $500 right now. I mean, have you been to the grocery store in the last 24 hours? That's like family of 5 groceries right now. So if Plexus is going to help leverage that and help me tell my story and make extra $500, $10 to start a business, I am in. So let's get started. You guys, that was a real life story. Lindsay's a real life person. I was in that photo, by the way. That's me. That's me in the little green outfit. Like, hey, they're not pretend. Like, I don't go and find people on the streets. I'm like, you're pretty. Can you come tell a story? Like, these are real life stories. And so again, Lindsay, thank you for sharing. And now maybe while you were listening, you were thinking to yourself, well, why not me? Like, good for you, not me. No, well, why not you? Of course you can. Of course you're going to feel uncomfortable or question it because it's something new. Have you ever watched a child learn how to ride a bike? I mean, they're like, they got questions. They're a little fearful. They fall over. I mean, that's why we supply them with a helmet and knee pads. In the network marketing world, you aren't supplied with a helmet and knee pads, but you are in Plexus with a huge community. We pride ourselves on the hashtag one Plexus community. Yeah, you're going to do this for yourself, but you're never by yourself. So I just want you to go with me here for a minute. In the next 30 days, what if you consistently showed up and used social media to grow a business versus post a weird video or share a TikTok? What if you use social media to help a mom friend get off her couch? Over the next 30 days, if you are new here in Plexus, we have a fast start program and you can earn a $300 referral bonus by sharing your link with 3 people and having them purchase what you get started with. Maybe that's our gut health system. Maybe it's our weight loss system. Maybe it's our prebiotic skincare. Maybe it's, you just need more energy. We have a product for everyone, kind of like how Taylor Swift has a song for just about everything. We have a product for just about everybody. And I love that. And I love that your story belongs to you, but it's going to help someone else. So how do I begin? I'm so glad you asked. Let's keep going. You begin by telling your story. So ask some questions to yourself, like why would I be excellent at sharing Plexus? Well, I'm already on social media. I definitely need to make some more money. I could use some extra energy. And when I go to the gas station and I spend $6 on an energy drink, I am hurting my bank account, right? So let's answer those questions. Now, some of you are like, well, I am not like that Emily girl. She is loud. She is crazy. And maybe you're a little bit more like Lindsay. You're like, I want to be better. I want to learn. I'm not a salesperson though. Like I wanted to be like Lindsay's like, I wanted to be a teacher. I ain't out here selling cars. Okay, great. But did you not sell bedtime to your child last night? Did you not sell your husband on meal prepping Sunday, right? We're constantly selling things to others and influencing them to make decisions every single day. You don't have to be a salesperson. Now, having some basic sales knowledge might be helpful, but that's a skill that you can learn. And maybe you're thinking, well, I'm just too busy. Emily, I have 3 kids. Well, we'll get to that in a minute, but a friend of mine has 7 children and she earned over $800 in the last month. And if she can, we can. Like what? So here's the thing about busy people. Busy people make fantastic multitaskers and they usually have epic communities and network. For example, that is my son on the far left, and we are select baseball family. So I'm constantly meeting new parents and new moms at the baseball field. And they're always like, Emily, how do you do it? How do you have the energy? How do you have the money for this? Like, I don't know if we can come back next year. And I'm like, whoa. Let me tell you about my little Plexus business. It's actually a big Plexus business now. But back then I'm like, let me tell you about my little business. So that is my precious son. And select baseball is expensive, so what is something in your life that you desperately want for your family? Maybe it's private education. Maybe it's college education. Maybe it's paying off debt, or your child really needs braces. What are you willing to do to make that a reality? In the middle, we have Jessica. Jessica is also on my team and a real life friend of mine. And she missed out on the first 5 years of her daughter, the oldest in the picture. She missed out on those first 5 years because of an alcohol addiction. So when she joined Plexus, it was in the middle of sobriety and literally turning her health around and to make more freedoms to spend more time with her daughter, to get to know her daughter. Some of you have some shame and something. And listen, I'm not a therapist, but we have relatable stories. Every single one of us, we have relatable stories that we need to share. We got to get out of our own way and get over ourselves. We're busy, we're broken. But that's what makes other people trust us and want to see what's helping us be better. And then lastly, that's Lindsay and her kiddos. I didn't know if you knew that, Lindsay, but you're in my slideshow. So that's Lindsay and her 3 kids. And I always think of her story. And that's why I put that question over hers. Like, what would an extra $200 mean for your family, for your son, for your daughter, for your in-laws, for your parents? What would that look like for you? Okay, let's keep going. All right, so the power of social sharing. The cool thing about Plexus is we are in an e-commerce world right now. So basically what I mean by that is if you get on Instagram or TikTok, or even if you go to some of your favorite brands like Nike, they have an affiliate program. So Plexus is very similar. We have a referral program. You get a customized link that's significant just to you. And when someone wants to place an order, you can walk them through that. They use your link. You can either get $25 in product credit, or you can choose the cash, which is about $35 in cash per person. Why would you not take the cash? I'm just saying, I love some product credit. Don't get me wrong, but your girl here has bills to pay and 3 mouths to feed and a really big, crazy doodle that is getting bigger every day and he needs more dog food. So here's the thing. When you use that referral link 3 times in the next 30 days, that is the first rank in Plexus. Lindsay mentioned that she was Emerald and Sapphire, and we're going to get to that in a second, but the first rank is Silver. Remember that day 1? Well, that's your first goal in Plexus, is to help 3 friends maybe do this alongside you, accountability partners, maybe 3 teachers. How many of you are teachers? Where are you at, teachers? Represent. Y'all have some of the biggest networks, and it would be foolish of you not to dive in and do this a little bit more. So it's the power of social sharing. I'm sorry, but last time I went to Home Depot and I painted my house and I posted it on the internet and like 46 people commented, "What's the paint color?" Home Depot did not pay me any money. Not a dollar, not a dime. If anything, I get like a quarterly coupon for like $5 off a paint sample. You know what I mean? Like, we are constantly recommending things. Why not get recommended, or why not recommend your vitamins to other people and then get paid for that? Why wouldn't you do that, right? So that's the power of social sharing, and Plexus has made it so simple for us to do. Let's dive into those ranks just a little bit. So this business model, you guys, this compensation plan is out of this world. It is limitless. Limitless. That means there's no income cap. If you keep working, you can keep growing. Which rank on the right side of the screen would make a difference for your family? I think the last rank that Lindsay mentioned was Sapphire. She's looking at an extra $144,000 annually for her family. That is what she worked towards. You know, what you just heard today was like a little 15-minute blip of the last 5 years of her getting to Sapphire. I worked 5 years in corporate America, and y'all know what I got? A 17-cent raise, 0.17. I worked in the financial industry for almost 7 years before I discovered Plexus and had babies of my own and wanted to have a little bit more freedom for myself. And when I went in for my annual review to talk about my progress, like constantly, they're like, "You're amazing. You're fantastic. Look at you. Look at what you've learned. Look at this progress. We can offer you a 17-cent raise," which of course I was grateful for. Of course I was. But man, what if I could work just as hard from the luxury of my own home, in the luxury of my own time, and more intentionally, right? So just know that our comp plan is the best in the industry, with room to grow as much as you are willing to work for it. There is no limit to the potential earning that you have here in Plexus. So that first rank is Silver, me plus 3. You sending that link to 3 people, they place an order, you're going to get an email confirming their order, and then you're going to get an email that says you got money. How many of you received a you got money email this month so far from Plexus? Please put it in the chat. If you want to go there, last month, tell me how much you made with Plexus, whether it was $26 or $26,000. We want to hear it. Shout it out, because Plexus does pay you real money. And we have people on this Zoom that have no idea that this is available to them. So what did your Plexus paycheck pay for? Groceries, car payment, braces, debt? Gosh, debt can be so crippling. But what if we worked really intentionally for the next 90 days, the next 9 years to get to Diamond? Whatever that timeline looks like for you, it's not a race. You can pick the pace that you want to go at. But can you imagine like desperately working at this job that you hate with a boss that maybe isn't very nice to you, right? Some of you love your jobs and maybe you just want extra income. That's great. What would referring your Plexus link to 17 people look like? I'm so glad you asked. In the next 30 days, that's the rank of Gold. That's this little tan one right here. An extra $9,000 a year. What? Get out of here, Plexus. Stop it right now. That's 17 people. You guys, that's a kindergarten classroom. That's 17 families right there that you know that probably goes to school with your kiddo. Of course we know 17 people, right? All right. This is my friend that I mentioned earlier who has a gazillion children. I'm just kidding. I don't know if she's on, but I love her so, so much. This is Trisha. And her story is very similar to Lindsay. She's a homeschooling mom. She lives a simple lifestyle, and she talks about it on Instagram. And something that I love about Trisha is in our comp plan, right? So if you look at that graphic, you go all the way to Diamond. Well, Plexus allows you to join again once you hit that very top. You can do it all over again. So Trisha right now is Trisha 2.0. She's already a Diamond in Plexus, and now she's doing it again. Well, Trisha just went from silver to ruby. You see this? Silver to ruby in 37 days. Now, some of you are thinking, yeah, freaking right. And okay, that's fine. You can think that way. But here's the thing. When you have energy and excitement and hope and a passion for helping other moms feel better, you do ridiculous things. And by ridiculous, I mean dancing on Instagram or making a reel or going up and down your street in your neighborhood and telling everyone about Plexus, maybe hosting a pink drink party at your house, whatever that looks like. But Trisha just knows this is possible. She's creating evidence for all of us so we can tell our brains, shut up, brain. This is real. This is so awesome. Why wouldn't I do this? You can create residual income with Plexus. You can earn vacations and prizes. I love that Lindsay brought up the cruise. Oh my gosh, what? I've never even been on a cruise. I'm 33 years old. I've never been on a cruise, and Plexus is offering that to people. Not to mention prizes. Like I'm looking just in front of me right now at some of the things that are in front of me. My iPad, this watch, all were Plexus prizes that I worked towards. Like how fun is that? You can build a legacy here, and your business is willable. If you know someone 18 and older and you're done working your Plexus business, you've created residual income and you want to will it to your 18-year-old child when they take over social media, whatever that looks like, you can do that. And then you choose your income cap. It's limitless. You guys dream big for just one hot second. If you can believe in Santa Claus for 12 years of your adolescence, you can believe in yourself today. Borrow my belief, borrow Lindsay's belief. Here's the thing. That's me in the bottom left-hand corner. I too am a military spouse. My husband was in the Marine Corps for 10 years. I never saw him. I never saw the guy. I married him and I never saw him. He deployed more than I ever saw him. And then during one of those deployments, I lost a baby and he was not home for that. It was devastating. And that was when I took my health seriously. I was 23 years old. Most 23-year-olds are doing dances on TikTok right now. And I was 23 and had just gone through a miscarriage. My husband was in the middle of Afghanistan and I didn't know what I didn't know about my health. I went to my doctor and I said, what do I do? And she said, gut health, and you need a quality probiotic. You need to stop drinking alcohol, and maybe you should document it. Like I'm a very outspoken person, as you guys can tell. And so I used Facebook as like a public diary of this Plexus health journey I started. I picked my products. I signed up as a VIP and I got excited. Was I nervous? Heck yeah. Was I fearful? Absolutely. My brain was like, mayday, mayday, but we did the thing. I told some friends, I keep telling friends, I've been doing this for 9 years. So that little baby and that dude, that doesn't have a beard. He actually has a full beard now, but that's my husband. He no longer deploys. When I reached Diamond in 21 months, we decided he was going to get out of the Marine Corps and pursue he has his own company now. And that little guy in the middle is my oldest. He's now 9. So he's a precious memory of like my day one and why I keep going. I now have 2 more kids, 3 total. And I run circles around them. I'm like, let's go. Mom had her active today. Watch out. And they're like, we love Plexus. We get to go on vacations. You know, when I was 9 years old, I used to write in my diary, I wish I could go on a vacation. And I showed it to my mom. And I got to take her on a Plexus trip with me last year. And I brought my diary with me and I showed her and I said, Mom, isn't God cool? Isn't that funny? How he was just like, hey, look what I did. And of course I made my mom cry and she was like, Emily, I had no idea, but I grew up on food stamps. I was a WIC kid. Like I would go and pick out the gross Cheerios because we couldn't have the honeycomb ones or whatever. That wasn't a part of food stamps. So I get it. I come from nothing, but I learned some skills. You know, I was the introverted weirdo nerd kid in high school that had all AP classes, didn't talk to anyone. I loved a good Twilight novel. And then when you're 23 and you realize, I wonder if anybody else feels this way. I wonder if any other moms have lost a baby. I wonder if anybody else partied too hard and they just want to change that. Well, that was my deciding factor. So for those of you sitting there still thinking about this is what it looks like when you refer a few friends. This is what that graphic is. Refer one person, you're already making your initial investment back, if not more than that, because it's $10 to start your Plexus business. But just real quick, look at referring 20. The majority of us that have kids in school, all of those classrooms have 20 plus kids in them, which is a little scary. Hopefully 15, but a lot of them have 20. What if we went to each parent in our class and said, hey, are you open to just hearing a little bit about this Plexus thing I'm doing? If you did that over the next 30 days, $2,200, what? Anyways, I just want y'all to think about that. May you have the courage this week to begin breaking patterns in your life that no longer serve you. Give yourself permission to pause and reflect today. And remember, taking care of yourself doesn't mean me first. It means me too. I don't know who wrote that quote, but you guys, it's one of my favorites. I absolutely freaking love Plexus. And if you didn't get it, I hope you get it now. Your girls lost 57 pounds, y'all. Like, Plexus changed my life. I get giddy. And some of you are like, it's my day one. I'd be lucky if I could fart today. And I get it. I get it. That's why we have gut health products. All right. Some of us need help with just that alone. But here's the thing. You have to make that decision. And you got to commit to the outcome. Commit to it. Like, is it going to take me a year? Is it going to take me 10 years? I don't care. We're doing this thing. And all emotions aside, your brain is a very emotional organ. All right. It's full of thoughts, 16 to 30,000 thoughts a day. And you just got to say, brain, hush for a minute. Let me think about this Plexus thing. I think I want to go all in. I think I want to try to learn a new thing. And if you do that, we're going to be here for you and we're going to cheer you on. And we're going to do these Zooms every Friday to make sure you understand what you're doing. Oh my goodness.